For nearly 100 years, the British cycling team was a national embarrassment, a century of losing. So bad that one of the top bike manufacturers in the world refused to sell them equipment, worried that being seen with a losing team would ruin their brand. And then, in the space of about 10 years, that same team began to dominate the sport. Olympic golds, Tour de France titles, a machine that could not be stopped. Nothing dramatic changed. No miracle athlete, no secret drug. One man changed one thing, and that one thing is the reason you can't seem to change your life, and the reason you finally will. The man was Dave Brailsford, and his idea was almost insulting in how small it was. He didn't try to make his riders 100% better. He looked for 1%, 1% better in 1,000 tiny places nobody else bothered to look. The pillows the riders slept on so they'd recover a little faster. The exact way they washed their hands so fewer of them got sick. The paint inside the equipment truck so they could spot a speck of dust that might slow a wheel. Alone, not one of those things would win you anything. Together, over years, they built a dynasty. Now, sit with the discomfort of that for a moment, because if that's true, it means the story you've been telling yourself is a lie. You've been waiting for the big moment, the transformation, the version of you that wakes up one morning fixed. And here is a team that proved the big moment was never coming. That greatness was hiding inside decisions so small they looked like they didn't matter at all. So, here's what I'm going to give you in the next half hour. Not motivation. Motivation burns off by lunchtime. I'm going to give you the architecture, the actual machinery of how a human being becomes someone else, one quiet decision at a time. And somewhere in the middle of this, I'm going to explain the single most painful reason people quit, the trap that catches you right before everything was about to work. Most people never see it coming. You will. Let's begin where you're already going wrong. Part 1. The math you've been ignoring. Simple animation. A flat line, then a curve, bending upward. Keep it minimal. This is a think with me section. Here is a number that should bother you. If you get 1% better at something every day for a year, you don't end up 1% better or even twice as good. You end up almost 38 times better. The math compounds. Small advantages don't add up, they multiply. And the cruelty of it is that it runs in both directions. 1% worse every day for a year, and you nearly erase yourself. You arrive at the end of the year a shadow of who you were, and you will swear you have no idea how you got there. This is the part nobody wants to hear. Your life right now is not the result of one big choice. It is the sum of hundreds of invisible ones. The meal you didn't think about, the scroll you didn't notice, the workout you skipped because one day won't matter. You're right, one day doesn't matter. That's exactly the problem, because you get to tell yourself that every single day. Pause, let this land. A single decision is easy to dismiss. It changes almost nothing, and so you excuse it. But you are not the product of a decision. You are the product of a pattern, and the pattern doesn't care about your intentions. It only counts your repetitions. So the question stops being, what massive change can I make? The person obsessed with the massive change is usually the person who never changes at all. The real question, the only one that ever built anything, is quieter. What is the 1%? And can I do it again tomorrow? Part 2. Why your goals are betraying you. 2 columns on screen briefly. Goals versus systems. Then let it go. This is the philosophical core, your strongest territory. Slow way down here. Now I want to take something away from you. Something you've been taught to worship your whole life, your goals. Think about 2 people who both want the same thing. 2 people who want to get in shape. 2 entrepreneurs who both want to be free. 2 writers who both dream of the finished book. They share the exact same goal, down to the word. One of them gets there. One of them doesn't. So it cannot be the goal that separated them. They both had it. The goal was identical. If the goal were the deciding factor, they'd both have arrived, or neither would. What separated them was never the target. It was the system underneath it, the daily process, the thing they did when no one was watching and no one was clapping. Here is the line I want burned into you. You do not rise to meet your ambitions. You sink to the level of the systems you've built. Your goal is your desire. Your system is your reality. And reality wins every time. Pause. Understand what this means, because it's heavier than it sounds. It means the winner and the loser wanted the same thing. Wanting was never the currency. Everyone wants. The graveyard is full of people who wanted. It means a goal is a fine direction and a terrible strategy. A goal points at the mountain. It does not carry you up it. And so people set enormous goals, feel a rush of ambition, and then crash into a life that was never designed to produce that outcome. Because they changed their wish without ever changing their days. And here's the cruelest part. Even when you hit a goal, it's temporary. You clean the messy room, and the room gets messy again, because you never changed the habits that made it messy in the first place. You lose the weight, and it comes back, because you attack the result instead of the system that produced it. You are not trying to reach a finish line. There is no finish line. You are trying to become a person who runs, for whom the running is simply what they do. Which brings us to the thing everyone gets wrong about willpower, and it might set you free. Part 3. The valley where everyone quits. This is the emotional midpoint, the rehook, visual, an ice cube, temperature numbers ticking up, nothing happening. Then, everything happens. Milk it. Let me tell you about the moment you always quit. Not because you're weak, because of a trap built into the nature of change itself. Picture an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. The temperature is 25 degrees. You start to warm the room, slowly. 26, 27, 28. The cube does nothing. 29, 30, 31. Still, nothing. A solid, stubborn block of ice, refusing to move. And then, 32 degrees, one more degree, the same single degree as all the others before it. And the cube begins to melt. Nothing about that final degree was special. It was the same 1 degree change you'd been making the whole time. The melting wasn't caused by the last degree. It was caused by all of them. This is the thing that breaks people. When you start to change your life, your effort goes in immediately. But the results are hiding. You do the work for a week, 2 weeks, a month, and the mirror looks the same. The bank account looks the same. The world gives you nothing back. There's a name for that empty stretch. Call it the valley of disappointment. It's the gap between the effort you're putting in and the results you can see. And it is exactly where the majority of human beings give up. They give up at 29 degrees, at 30, at 31. They quit one decision away from the thaw, and they walk off believing the whole thing was pointless, when in truth, they had already done the hard part. The energy wasn't wasted, it was stored. Understand what's actually happening in that valley. Your habits are not producing nothing, they are being stored. The progress is real. It is accumulating, but it lives underground where you can't admire it. And so you have to do something almost no one is willing to do. You have to keep laying bricks after you've stopped believing in the building. You have to trust the mathematics of it when your eyes are telling you it isn't working. Because the most defining moment of any change is not the day it finally shows. It is the long, unglamorous stretch before that day, when nothing is showing and you decide to continue anyway. The people you envy did not have more talent in that valley. They had more patience. They simply refused to leave 1 degree early. So before we talk about tactics, before I hand you the tools, carry this with you. Boredom, not failure, is the real enemy. The plateau isn't the sign to stop. The plateau is the last thing standing between you and everything you wanted. Now, let's talk about how you actually build the habit so you never rely on motivation again. Part 4. The machine. How to actually do this gear shift. Energy lifts slightly. Still stoic, but now practical and useful. 3 tools: fast, clean, concrete. Let people feel they can start tonight. Everything up to now was philosophy. This is engineering. 3 tools, simple enough to start the moment this video ends. The first, shrink it until it's stupid. The reason you don't have the habit isn't that you lack discipline. It's that the habit you're demanding of yourself is too big to begin. I'll read for an hour. I'll work out for 90 minutes. I'll meditate every morning. Enormous. And so, on a tired day, which is most days, you do none of it. So make it laughable. Shrink the habit down until it takes 2 minutes or less. Read a book becomes read 1 page. Do yoga becomes take out the mat. Study for the exam becomes open the notes. You are not trying to do the workout. You are trying to become the kind of person who shows up. Master the art of showing up first, because a habit you're actually performing can be improved later. But a habit you keep skipping doesn't exist to improve. Standardize before you optimize. Get consistent at the small version, and the big version grows out of it on its own. The second, chain it to something you already do. You already have a life full of habits so automatic you don't even notice them. You pour your coffee, you brush your teeth, you sit down at your desk. Every one of those is a solid anchor already bolted into your day. So stack the new habit onto the old one. After I pour my coffee, I write 1 sentence. After I sit down at my desk, I close every distracting tab. After I brush my teeth, I lay out tomorrow's clothes. You stop relying on memory and motivation, the 2 least reliable forces in your life, and you let an existing habit carry the new one on its back. The old routine becomes the trigger becomes automatic, and automatic is the whole game. The third, and this is the one that dismantles the myth of willpower entirely, design the room, not the resolve. Here is a truth that should offend you and then free you. The people who look the most disciplined are very often not fighting the hardest. They've simply arranged their lives so that the fight rarely happens. You think you failed because you're weak. Most of the time you failed because you were standing in a room engineered to defeat you. The phone was in your hand. The junk food was at eye level. The television faced the couch. You were relying on willpower to outmuscle an environment built to beat it. And the environment always wins, because it's there every second, and your willpower is not. So stop trying to resist temptation. Remove it. Make the bad habit invisible and inconvenient. Put the phone in another room. Delete the app. Unplug the console and store the controller in a closet. And make the good habit obvious and easy. Leave the book on your pillow. Set the guitar on a stand in the middle of the room. Fill the visible shelf with water, not soda. You are not a monk. You will not win a willpower war every single day for the rest of your life. No one does. But you don't have to. You only have to design a space where the right choice is the easy one and the wrong choice is a hassle. Discipline is not a feeling you summon. It is an environment you build. Bring the 3 back together. Shrink it. Chain it. Design the room. None of these require you to become a stronger person overnight. They just require you to stop fighting yourself and start engineering yourself. But there's one layer beneath all 3 of these. The deepest one. The reason some people can hold a habit for a lifetime while others hold it for a week. And that layer is where I want to leave you. Part 5. The deepest law. Who are you becoming? Pull back out. This is the payoff. Wide, slow, reflective. The whole video has been building to this. Music swells almost imperceptibly. I want to show you why most change doesn't survive, and it comes down to the level you aim it at. Most people try to change from the outside in. They start with what they want, the result. Lose the weight, make the money, finish the book. That's the outer layer, and it's the weakest place to push because you're chasing a number that keeps moving. Underneath, the result is the process, the systems we just built. Better, stronger, but there is one layer beneath even that, the deepest layer, and it is the only one that ever holds. Your identity, who you believe you are. Here's the difference, and it's everything. Imagine 2 people offered a cigarette. The first says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The second says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." Listen to the gap between those two sentences. The first person still is a smoker. They're a smoker fighting themselves, white-knuckling their way through a craving, hoping their willpower outlasts the moment. But the second person has left the identity behind entirely. There is no fight. A non-smoker doesn't resist the cigarette. The cigarette simply has nothing to do with who they are. This is the real work. Not chasing what you want to have, deciding who you want to be, and then proving it to yourself in miniature over and over, because every single action you take is a piece of evidence. A quiet vote, write one sentence, and you cast a vote for being a writer. Do the one push-up, and you cast a vote for being someone who trains. Skip it, and you've voted for the other person, the one you're trying to leave behind. No single vote builds the identity. You'll lose plenty of them. And that's fine. You don't need to win every vote, you just need the majority. You are simply trying to win most of the elections. Enough small pieces of evidence that eventually your own mind concedes the point and says, "This is who I am now." And once your habits become a part of your identity, you no longer have to force them. You don't fight to keep them. You'd feel wrong abandoning them, the way you'd feel wrong being a stranger to yourself. That is the destination, not a body. Not a bank account, not a finished project sitting on a shelf. A self, a person for whom the good habit is not a chore they perform, but simply the truth of who they are. You are not trying to read a book. You are becoming a reader. You are not trying to run a race. You are becoming a runner. You are not trying to change your life. You are becoming the person whose life looks like that by default. Everything strips back to bare. Music out, just the voice. Then the tagline, then silence. So forget the transformation you've been waiting for. It was never coming, and you don't need it. You need 1%. You need the small version of the habit, chained to something you already do, in a room you've built to make it easy. You need to survive the valley where everyone else quits, and you need to remember, with every quiet vote you cast, who it is you're becoming. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. You will never feel ready. Ready is another thing you're waiting on that isn't coming. Today, 1 degree, 1 vote, 1 brick laid in a building you can't see yet. Answer to no one.